Next question. A futures contract is available on a company that pays an annual dividend of rupees 5 and whose stock is currently priced at the rate of 200. Each futures contract calls for delivery of 1000 shares of the stock in 1 year. This is a question from the institute publication, wherein they have taken the time period of the futures contract of 1 year. Daily marking to the market an initial margin of 10% and maintenance margin of 5%. Current risk-free rate of return is 8%. Given the above information, what should be the price of one futures contract be? That is the question. Then B question, C question, and so on questions have been provided to us. Dear students, over here the question is providing that, say, the company pays an annual dividend of rupees 5. So again we will make a simple assumption that dividend of rupees 5 is supposed to be paid at the end of the year, just 1 day before the expiry of the futures contract. So I want you to make the calculation of the answer of the A question and put your answer in the chat box. So please write down the answer of the question. In order to compute F price, that is futures / forward price, comma, we are assuming that dividend is going to be paid at the end of year, comma, just 1 day before expiry of futures contract or forward contract. Full stop. So F is equal to spot plus interest minus dividend. What is the spot price? It is 200. What is the interest amount? 200 into 0.08 into time period 1 year minus dividend is 5. 200 plus 16 minus 5, that comes to 206, that is 11. This is a way we can make the computation of the answer. At the same time, we have an alternative method also, wherein we understand that, say, it is revised the spot price plus interest. Revised the spot price will be calculated as 200 minus 5 divided by 1.08. So you compute the present value of the dividend and you deduct the same from the spot price of the security, and this entire amount is compounded at the end of the year, so into 1.08. So this is what we do. So it is 200 into 1.08 minus 5, because this 1.08 will be cancelled against this 1.08. So it is 216 minus 5, that comes to rupees 211. This is the way we can compute the answer. Language of the question speaks that you are required to compute the price of one futures contract. So from examination point of view, you just have to write the answer like this: price of one futures contract is equal to F price futures of forward price into lot size. So it is 211 into 1000 shares. That comes to 2,11,000. This is the way, so the answer can be calculated. B part of the question. If the company's stock price decreases by 7%, what will be, if any, change in the futures price? That is the question. Again, calculate the answer and put it in the chat box. Chalo, write down answer the question. Second part of the question, B question. In that, write down working note number 1, calculation of revised spot price of security after 7% decline in value. Instead of revise, just write down new spot price. New spot price. So it is current price minus reduction. See, language of the question is very clear. If the company's stock decreases by 7%, what is the spot price of the security right now? It is 200. What will happen? It will reduce by 7%. So it is 200 minus 7%. That comes to 186. So the question says that, say, the price of the security falls to 186. Now, taking this revised spot price of the equity share, you are required to compute the futures price. So, calculation of futures price. We understand that's over here spot plus interest minus dividend. 186 plus 186 into 8% into 1 year minus dividend of rupees 5. So 186 into 8% comes to 14.88. Minus 5. So 186 plus 14.88 minus 5. That comes to 195.88. So the revised futures price will be 195.88, and lastly, simple working, futures value of one contract. It is the futures price into lot size. What is the futures price? 195.88. What is the lot size? It is 1000 shares. So that comes to 1,95,880. So if at all the spot price of the security reduces from 200 to 186, then the futures price will fall down from 211 to 195.88. That is what we understand. C question. As a result of company stock decreases, will an investor that has long position in one futures contract of this company realizes gain or loss? The question says further, what will be the amount of gain or loss? That is the question. So we understand that, so the C question is divided into two parts. C1 and C2. I want you to write answer for both of them in the chat box. Let us have understanding that say how to calculate the answer. See, the question is providing that say an investor having long position in one futures contract. What does it mean? It means that say he entered into the transaction to buy. It means that say when the spot price was 200, the trader has entered into the transaction to buy. What is the price at which he must have entered into the buy? That is 2,11,000. Because he has entered into the futures contract. On the next day, the price of the security is changing. The question says that say suppose on the very next day he squares off the transaction. What will be the price at which he will square off the transaction? 1,95,880. So we can say something like this. The answer for the question number C1 and C2 in that calculation of profit or loss for long position. Long position means you entered into the transaction to buy. It is the sale price minus purchase price. You entered into the contract to buy at 2,11,000. Next day, if at all you square off the transaction, you will square off at 195,880. You may do like this because you are further anticipating decrease in the price. So unfortunately, the resultant figure is negative, so it is loss. The question says that so you are required to first of all give answer that say he will have a profit or loss. So now based on this value we can always understand investor having long position in futures market will incur loss, comma, if price reduces. We can say that so the investor having long position even in the cash market will incur a loss if at all the price reduces. And we have made the computation, the loss is 15,120. Next question. What must be the initial balance in the margin account be? That is a question. Following the stock decrease, what will be, if any, change in the margin account? That is a question. So write down answer of the D question. Initial margin will be rupees 21,100. That is 2,11,000 into 10%. Because you can see that so the question is providing clearly the information that so the initial margin percentage is 10%. With paragraph write down, with reduction in price, comma, balance in margin account will reduce to rupees, so reduce by rupees 15,120, comma, it will reduce to rupees 5980. 21,100 minus 15120. This is what we understand.